Today's Reddit story is about a woman who refuses to help her sister. Does that make her an a-hole? Let's find out. It's from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my sister with her children and telling her she chose her crappy life, so now she has to deal with it? When my sister, 26 female, and I, 24 female, were kids, we hated each other. My sister was very hard to get along with, and she never had any friends as a result of this. She's the type of person who always thinks she's right and can never apologize or admit when she's wrong. As an adult, she still has no friends. She decided to drink the trade wife Kool-Aid. She met her husband in college, got pregnant, and dropped down. They have 4 children under the age of 8 together, and the youngest is a quadriplegic due to spinal damage and a birth defect. I just finished law school, and I'm starting my career. My husband already has an established career, and we're dinks. Dink stands for double income, no kids. We don't intend on having any children. My sister has historically talked down to us at family events. She says we don't even understand what we're missing out on, we'll never know what true and unconditional love is, etc. Very condescending as always. Lately, her and her husband have been fighting. Apparently, per my mom, he has never let her access his income. He gives her cash for groceries. The bill and stuff have always been in his name. Apparently, he's been cheating too. My sister has asked for me to watch her kids on the weekends so she can save up money to be able to evaluate her options, aka leave her husband. When she came to me and asked this, I asked her, but isn't being a traditional wife your calling? You've told us this several times. You must have forgotten, but traditional wives aren't supposed to work. I kind of laughed at how she explained that maybe being a trade wife isn't for her after all. Eventually, I just shut her down and told her that she picked this life, the life that she has always insisted is so superior to mine. Time to learn to deal with the problems that come with it. My parents can't watch our kids because dad is at work on an oil pipeline and mom is too old to be working the hours she is already working. Other relatives don't live close enough to do it. She also asked my parents to move in with them, and my dad shut it down. He can't really stand her kids. Am I the a-hole? Now, I think that the OP, it's kind of messed up. I mean, she's not wrong to not help out the sister because, like she has mentioned, it was her sister's choice to be a trade wife. And, from the sound of things, it sounds like the sister is kind of admitting that she was wrong because she says maybe the trade life isn't for her. So she kind of admitted. But at the same time, I can understand where OP might be feeling like, well, you know what? This is your life. You chose this. Because before this whole, fighting and stuff like that, the sister did say, having kids is great. You won't understand unconditional love. Just because OP doesn't have kids. And making it sound like she was much better. So, yeah, in a way, I can see why OP says no. Because of the way her sister had treated her. But at the same time, OP, you're kind of mean in a way where your sister sort of admitted that this may not be the right choice, and she is asking for help. Now, again, like I said, it is your choice to not help her or help her. It's definitely your choice. But it's kind of like rubbing it in her face when she's already down. And that's kind of mean. But I mean, I would say 90% not the a-hole. 10% for rubbing it in her face is kind of an a-hole kind of move. But I guess it's probably well deserved because of how your sister has treated you. So I completely understand. Anyways, let's see what some of the commenters have to say about this. First commenter says, this is the thing about trade wives. When it works, it works. But when it goes wrong, which is not uncommon, one side has all the leverage. Some women get infatuated with the idea of being subordinate and taken care of. But they don't consider what happens when, 10 years later, their trade husband looks for something young and pretty to dominate, and they have no money, no job skills, and 3 kids. That's true. Another commenter says, not the a-hole for not wanting to watch her kids. Very much the a-hole for being smug about her current situation. That's kind of like what I was saying. You can say no thank you without rubbing the puppy's nose in her mess. You don't need to explain why you don't want to watch your kids. No is a reason enough. And be like, good luck figuring it out. Exactly. You don't have to rub it in your sister's face for saying you made the wrong choice or I told you so. She's already down. And she's already coming to you while she's down and out. And she's asking for help. Like you had mentioned before, she doesn't ask or doesn't admit that she's wrong. And when she's coming to you and telling you these things, it should be enough to be like, all right, like hear her out, you know? Anyways, another commenter says, can definitely see the family resemblance in your reaction. Everyone sucks. Yeah. Another commenter says, everyone sucks, especially OP. You can decline whatever you want for whatever reason. That isn't the issue. The issue is you lack having any empathy for your sister based on the past. The best revenge is show grace and rise above it all, the pettiness. Your success would have spoken for itself. All that gets washed away because you are stooping to their level, especially when she's down. That's what I'm saying. Had this been your energy since day one, I could have checked it up to sibling rivalry gone too far. The fact that you needed to wait until she was down to act like this shows you you were a coward this whole time. On top of that, you took this out on the kids who had nothing to do with it. You would subject her to be trapped in a bad marriage by not allowing her to literally work her way out of it. And because she bragged about having kids, which you claim you never wanted, you're worse than your sister. Hey, these commenters are speaking the truth. Another commenter says, I mean, you have zero obligation to help someone you seem to hate or at the very least dislike based on your post. But you're the a-hole in how you talked to her and turned her down. I mean, you were the a-hole in throwing the traditional wife crap in her face. It's aggressive, hardly even passive-aggressive, and petty. That's true. Another commenter says, ha ha, she was condescending to you at family events and now she's experiencing karma by being financially abused, isolated, cheated on, and having a disabled child, no friends or income, and being humble to the point of asking you for help, even reconsidering her role of her identity and decision to focus on being a mom instead of working, in an attempt to escape her situation. What a perfect opportunity to get back at her by telling her what a stupid, condescending bee she is for choosing all of those things, which are just part of being a dumb trade wife. Not the a-hole for not helping, despite it being super biased and cool for kicking her while she's down. Yeah, I'm going to say you're the a-hole. Yeah, exactly. Another commenter says, definitely not the a-hole for refusing to watch your kids. You and your husband both work and have careers, so it seems your only personal time is weekends. Now, despite not wanting children, she wants you to deal with 4 kids who aren't yours all weekend, every weekend? Hell no. I get why some comments says your smugness was inappropriate, but if someone had been put down their entire life by their sibling, with it only escalating when it comes to adult choices and constantly being degraded, then I can understand the smug response. Was it the best response? Maybe not. But I can fully understand it and not judge based on that. Also, no is a complete sentence. And it sounds like your dad might have your back on this one, not the a-hole. What do you guys think? From the comments, it sounds like it's a mixed bag. It's not very clear of the OP being an a-hole or not being a-hole or everyone sucks. To me, I think it's just really a mixed bag. Yes, just like some of the commenters have said, you're not the a-hole for refusing to help your sister, but you are kind of an a-hole for throwing it back in her face, for saying like, oh, well, this is what you get. She is in a really tough situation and she's finding a way to get out. So yeah, you are kind of messed up in that way. Anyways, what do you guys think of the situation? What advice would you have for both the OP or the OP's sister? Let me know in the comment section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.